Hi there.
Hello there. My name is Simone. I am with Digitary, and I've been part of the Open Recognition Alliance since its founding. In fact, I was among the first people to sign the declaration, and I was happy to co host one of the first events of this gathering in Bologna. For me, open recognition is really tied to a very basic human need, which is that of connection and belonging to a community. And it's a very nice way to interpret in a digital way what happens in everyday life, which is the human interactions that make up most of those experiences in our life that are very meaningful and they can make a difference. And yet there is really no way to trace those micro interactions that at the end of the day make your life more fulfilling and rewarding. So the idea to be working into this huge project that has such a huge impact is exciting. And it's probably like you're working toward building a cathedral that you may never see finished, but in your vision, it's there. So every day you go to work, you may be putting a brick in a wall, but in your mind, you're really seeing the big pictures. And I think most of the people that are engaged with the Open Recognition Alliance are, you know, a, a bit of visionaries, inspired by, I guess, the thought leadership of Serge, who I've always called a lysergic thinker, because I believe he has hallucinations, not just visions, and is always stretching the boundaries of concepts that go back to e-portfolio, then open badges, and now open recognitions. And what was introduced here in Paris this year was the idea of bits of trust, which is a nice complement to the open badges ecosystem and something that really goes back to tracking those relationships, those endorsement and those exchange of trust that really make up the foundation of our relationship. And so it's exciting to believe that there is a way, an easy way, a super easy way to turn what is as simple as toasting together into like a digital connection that could be then scaled up in an exponential way and connect the rest of our individual networks, which is based on our skills, our competence, but also on our shared interest. And so I believe that the takeaway from this particular event is just a realization that there is a human dimension that is foundational and that should be leveraged to bring about this vision of a bit of trust. And I believe that's one of our, takeaways or next actions for the future. So I look forward to be back here at this convening next year and, have more stories or more inspiration to share. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And for sharing this on open recognition, what other learning or experiences did you acquire or did you find these last days?
I found very interesting all the focus on the humanitarian sector. Maybe because it's something that I personally connect with, and that's often what really makes a difference for people. If you can relate closely to an issue that is real, practical, and then you may experience on your everyday life. My wife is a social worker. She works with refugees. I do some of my volunteering, to support that cause as well. And so, finding that concrete use case that is empowering a population that is underserved, to some extent marginalized, and yet a population that carries some of those skills that we claim there's a shortage of. And I'm referring to, resilience, empathy, versatility, tolerance. I mean, all those soft skills that the market tells us there is shortage of, and yet we have an influx of these resources, you know, um, that are carried by migrants that have gone through a dramatic mobility experience, but because of their stories and their journeys, they have and they could share with the world, and they should be rewarded for it. They should be empowered. They should be recognized for that.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else that you want to share, an experience?
I can just say that this, in my current professional life, the I guess encounter with open badges has made a big difference. It was certainly a moment of epiphany for me in a way. It allowed me to really connect with the core of what I was doing in my daily job and elevate my thinking. And when that happens, you find your purpose. And I think there is kind of a shared sentiment here that there is what we're after is really just acting out our own individual purpose, that fulfills our lives, and with a big vision that can help you believe that you can make an impact and a difference. And again, that helps you go to work every day, thinking that you're working on this big monumental project that you see, and that you just contribute to possibly seeing finished. It's a bit like the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. I think there have been generation of people working to it, and yet I think it was just finished. And maybe it's not finished. So maybe we do it in a more distributed way, which is popular today. So we're all working to the new Sagrada Familia 2.0 in a distributed fashion.
Simone, thank you very much for sharing this with us. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. Ciao.
Ciao.